binnen de balans en stappen. Rebound. Score.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the week, man of the month, the man of the year, Canada's own
Grant Nickel.
He's done a lot. He's accomplished a lot. He is probably the greatest player that ever played. Not only that, he's a pretty amazing person, and I love to sit back and not really analyze him, but watch him and try to understand, more so than anything, try to understand what makes him tick.
Stop it.
He's a supernatural athlete, and at the same time, people expect him to be a supernatural person. I mean, he's an ambassador to the game, and he's very similar to any diplomat. I mean, he's very similar to the president or the prime minister as far as I'm concerned. So he rarely lets his guard down. I mean, do you ever hear what Brian Mulroney or President Reagan does away from his office? I mean, you never hear about that, just like you never hear what
Chris Walton
does.
Reporters will be huddled over him for an hour after the games, and he just does it, answers the questions. Can you imagine how many times he's had the question asked to him, well, how does it feel to be one of the greatest players in the world? I mean, every place we go to, guys ask him that question. He answers it, answers it, and answers it. I mean, I get upset just thinking about guys asking him that same ridiculous question. And he never gets upset. I've never seen him yell at a reporter yet. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that have experimented with it at one time, but to a man in the NHL, there couldn't be one guy that could be hooked on any kind of drugs and play on a regular basis. You'd have to notice it. Trainers, the doctors, I mean, everyone, the tests that we do on these guys, I mean, we've done all kinds of tests on them just to see how they can perform. It can't be possible.
It's what I do. I play a game that takes me far from you. And everyone I meet knows who I am. They think I have the world here in my hand. But the eye of a crowd can be the loneliest place around. Do you think of me when you're all alone at night and the song we used to like comes on the radio? Do you think of me and that early morning light driving quickly out of sight? Driving quickly out of sight away from you.
I mean, for one, he says that he hates to be alone in public, and I can understand that. I mean, he thinks that someone might come up to him with a knife in a crowd because his name is right up there. I mean, they call him the greatest, like they call Muhammad Ali the greatest. And those are major concerns when your name is that recognizable, and your face and everything you've ever done. The type of player he was is exactly the way he coaches. An instigator, an agitator, as he does on the bench. And he played with his heart, and he played with lots of emotion.
Ready.
I always had the philosophy that you should always change at least 15% of your team. I mean, you've got to get better all the time. So we didn't know if the team the years before were going to remain intact. We didn't know who was going to be there. It was like the first year in the last 4 years that we actually thought, well, whose jobs are secure and whose aren't?
I think that they understand that I've got a job to do and they have a job to do, and if they don't perform, that I'm going to have to change faces. And they know that I'm capable of doing it. I think that they understand that I have a lot of compassion for them, but if they screw up, then the compassion is limited. Winning is the first thing. That's the nature of the beast.